Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Monday afternoon. I'm in the office, taking care of business, paying bills as usual, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. We're going to do Mafia Monday. I'm not sure how many people are really watching this anymore, and it doesn't really matter to me. I'm going to continue on anyways through all three books, even if none of you guys like the video, none of you watch. Who the hell needs you? So let's just trot forward. Of course, I got Mr. Snubby loaded as usual, ready to blast your brains out. We're going to do a longer reading today, so the video might be a little longer, and the reason why is because this is a short chapter. It just doesn't feel necessary to break it up into more than one video. So let's just see how it goes. We're going to do all of chapter 16, Mafia Monday. Our main character, Simon Castro, young Simon. He joined the Mafia. He's trying to start his own crew. He's also trying to get a seat on the board of directors around the table on the Los Angeles Syndicate. So we're going through scene by scene through all three books about the Los Angeles Syndicate that I wrote. And let's just jump into it. Chapter 16, Return to Los Angeles. I drove back to LA after the hit was done. And to my surprise, the FBI raids were over. The family had lost its godfather, along with about 300 soldiers and, of course, associates. My father was in charge, and he had the support of the entire family all throughout the country to be the new boss. My first stop was my father's house over in Beverly Hills. I found him out back on the patio, sipping iced tea and reading the newspaper. He had the Las Vegas Review on the table next to him, folded open to the headline, Biker Riot and Shootout at the Holiday Inn Hotel. Mob informant and FBI agent both dead. He said, "Simon, it is good to see you, son. Please, take a seat. Can you explain something to me?" "Explain to me what happened in Vegas." I sat down and replied, "Well, it's nice to see you, Pop. The riot was part of my plan. The pandemonium gave me a clear path to get Giovanni. I was in and out." My father laughed and lit a cigar. He poured me a glass of tea from the pitcher and handed it to me. He said, "Well, you pulled it off, so good for you. Your money is in my room. Remind me to get it for you before you leave." I replied, "Well, let's get it now, because I got stuff to do. I want to go see Jennifer. I haven't seen her yet." My father said, "Well, take it easy for a second. I want to have a follow-up conversation on the last one. I want you to sit next to me on the board. It is now a race to fill your grandfather's empty chair. The family must be the one to take the seat. With it, we will finally control the board of directors and be able to determine the direction of the company. The syndicate will be ours once and for all. Have you set up your own crew yet? I know you were in Vegas, but..." I interrupted and replied, "Pop, sorry to change the subject from your aspirations of being emperor of the criminal underworld, but I got shot. I got a bullet wound through my leg." He looked at me with wide eyes, not knowing if I was serious or not, as I didn't look injured. I stood up and pulled down my pants to show him my bloody bandage. He put down his glass of tea and pulled me over by my arm to show him the bloody bandage. He took off the bandage and inspected my wound. My father said, "Well, it looks pretty good. Did you go to the hospital or something? Who did this for you?" I replied, "A dirty bum did it. I spent the night in a sewer tunnel at his campsite. He used to be an army medic in Vietnam. The guy found me in my car, ready to pass out from blood loss." My father laughed and said, "Wow, well, you earned your money the hard way this time. Not to worry. I'm going to get you fixed up right. Sit tight. I'll call my doctor. He's coming over in 10 minutes. He's the best gunshot surgeon in Beverly Hills." I pulled up my pants and sat back down in my chair and took a sip of iced tea. I figured it would be good to get a real doctor to look at my wound. I heard of people getting infections that result in amputations. I'd probably kill myself if I lost a leg. I replied, "Thanks, Pop. I hope he doesn't take too long." The doctor took forever. But finally, when he did get there, he fixed me right up. He did not seem to share my father's appreciation of John's medical skills. When he was finished, he stood awkwardly by the door as if he was waiting to be shown out. My father whispered to me, "Go give him a tip. He doesn't work for free. You think he came by here just because he likes me?" Luckily, I had a wallet full of bills and didn't give all the money I had to John. I handed the doctor $500 in cash for the trouble. My father gave me a sour look, and I handed the doctor another $500. Then the doctor smiled when my wallet was empty. I shrugged my shoulders as I had plenty of money coming to me from the hit. I said, "Easy come, easy go." I left my father's house with money and was really excited to go see Jennifer. I called her as soon as I got back to my apartment. The phone rang several times and she finally answered in a groggy voice. She quietly said, "Hello?" I replied, "Hey, did I wake you?" "I'm sorry, sweetie. I wanted to let you know that I'm home." She said in her smooth and soft voice, "Come over right now." My heart jumped at the invitation. It was exactly what I wanted to hear. We hung up without saying a further word, and I ran out of my place, leaving my bags of cash on my sofa. I ran back down to the car like a track star. I hopped behind the wheel like a Le Mans driver at the beginning of a race. I sped off to her apartment, wondering if I locked my front door before I ran. I got to her place in no time, luckily hitting all the green lights down Wilshire Boulevard. Within about 20 minutes from the time we hung up, I was knocking on her apartment door. She answered on my first knock, as though she was standing on the other side waiting for me the entire time. Jennifer was wearing a sheer see-through pink nightgown and nothing on underneath. Her tanned body was like candy in its wrapper as she stood in the doorway smiling at me. She said in a joyful tone, "You must have flown here like Superman." She hugged me tight for a long time, almost like she could sense that I'd been through hell. I was so happy to see her that I could barely contain myself. And she invited me in, and we hung out for a bit in her kitchen, talking about her week and what she was up to. She was eager to make me dinner, which was sort of unusual behavior for her, not being a very good cook and all. I was skeptical if she could even boil water properly. However, she proved me wrong and made the best fettuccine alfredo that I'd ever had in my entire life. After we ate, she tossed the dishes in the sink, and we both retired to the living room. She sat down next to me on the sofa and said bluntly, "Simon, I know you're in the mafia. I'm not stupid. I know the party that I met you at was for the boss of the Los Angeles crime family. But I've fallen in love with you regardless of your family connections. Look, if we're going to take the next step in this relationship, I need to know if you're a killer, if you're some kind of murderer or a psychopath." I was completely caught off guard with her questions. I paused for a long time thinking how to handle the situation. I finally responded, "Yes, you know my last name. I'm a Castro. But look, I'm a businessman, not a murderer. The less you know, the safer you are when it comes to my work. Now, come on. Do I really seem like a violent psychopath to you?" She smiled and said, "No, I suppose you don't. You look like a football player who went bad." I looked Jennifer in the eyes as deeply as I could. I stared into her large, glassy, black pupils until I could see my own reflection. She smelled of perfume and shampoo. Her blonde hair shined like silk. I said, Jennifer, I want to know how I want you to know how serious I am about you. I don't have one-night stands or flings with women. I'm a very traditional guy who only wants two things in life: love and money. Okay, I think I have to skip forward only because there's a fairly dirty and rather graphic sex scene. I don't remember, right? I wrote this book 4 years ago. I don't remember this part, but I don't want the video to get taken down from YouTube. So, summary, they have sex. Let me skip forward. I woke up the next morning with her naked body sleeping on top of mine. I listened to the sounds of the city buses going by out front of the building and the various police sirens off in the distance, which was normal for LA. That was certainly a better way to wake up than underground in a damp, wet tunnel with a crazy bum and his fat cat. I watched the curtains blow around and from the open window across the room when she rolled off me, happily sprawling herself on the bed. I finally had my chance to run to the bathroom. I went into the kitchen and poured a glass of orange juice. On the countertop was yesterday's Los Angeles Times newspaper, neatly folded and opened up to a small article about the Las Vegas riot at the Holiday Inn. I could only pray that she believed the story that I fed her. The last thing I wanted to do was mess this relationship up with Jennifer. All right, so that's the end of chapter 16. And if anybody is still following this, we will go to chapter 17 next week. And Simon's going to start his own crew. Stay tuned.